You've been with us all day. You know there were some major announcements at today's EA briefing, and here now to elaborate is the CEO of Electronic Arts, our good friend Peter Moore. Peter, always looking dapper. You had a suit change today, even.
Yeah, you can't wear the same suit twice for two
press
different
conference?
press. No, absolutely.
What do you do to the press conferences when you're done?
It's part of the E3 rules.
You hang them up in your estate?
There's a shrine. I have a shrine in my closet.
Like all
absolutely.
the years, all the press conferences.
Totally. Yeah, I tag them.
Even your hoodie from the Xbox.
That was Jay Allard. That wasn't me. No, I have the shiny suit from a couple of years ago.
That shiny silver suit. You're always a dapper man, Peter.
Thank you, Jeff.
So let's talk about EA, your press conference. Lots of content.
Yeah.
So much you guys went a little long with a
Sorry
lot of
about
stuff.
that.
That's
yeah.
all right.
Yeah.
It's fine. You ended in a big moment with Star Wars Battlefront. We just talked about that. It was the biggest moment of the day so far in terms of concurrent viewers. So tell us about Battlefront. We saw the trailer at Celebration.
Yep.
People didn't know if it was real. Now they've seen the gameplay. It looks pretty spectacular.
Yeah.
The DICE team is going to deliver that in
Yep.
November. We know that it's not necessarily an Episode 7 game.
That's correct.
But it's going to tie into the movie in some way, right?
Well, so the idea is, so let's backtrack here. You've got the Frostbite engine, which looks magnificent there. You've also got DICE, to your point, our Stockholm studio, and we talk a lot about the dedication that these folks have, and I know it's running here. It is a labor of love and a privilege for a lot of these developers to be able to work with Lucas and with Disney, to go to Skywalker Ranch, to head up to Muir Woods in San Francisco, where Endor kind of is, and see where the Ewoks were placed. From the perspective of what we're doing here is trying to bring this idea of playing your Star Wars fantasy.
Right.
And so to your point, it's not an Episode 7. This is not a movie game per se. There will be elements of it, and when we come out, prior to about a month before, you'll see I think it's Battle of Jakku that comes out there as part of that, and that will be in the movie. We're working very closely with J.J. Abrams' team to make sure we're all in sync here, but it's going to be an incredible fall for Star Wars. Yeah,
no, it looks incredible. And you guys obviously are doing multiple Star Wars games.
Yes.
You're starting with this, but I know Amy Hennig, who worked on the Uncharted series, is working on another title up at Visceral, so this will be every year we'll see something new Star Wars.
I mean, that's the plan, multi-year, and not only in HD consoles, but also, we've also got the Old Republic, which you saw that Jeff Hickman and his team came out and showed us the Old Republic, which is, I think, in its 4th year now. Mobile games, which Samantha Ryan talked about. So it's multi-platform, multi-years.
Wow, very, very cool. And what Amy's going to do is that'll be a different style. That'll be sort of more adventuring.
This is not just FPSs all the way through. So we haven't really talked in detail about it yet. But Amy, as you know, was brought on to do that. She's an incredibly creative talent. With obviously with her portfolio and her resume of the titles she's done. But yes, this is more than just bringing to life a Battlefront. There's more to it. You can think, action-adventure type games in the future.
Wow, very, very cool. All right, well, Star Wars, that will be a big year for EA. Let's talk about some of the other things that you guys highlighted at the press conference. You were on stage with Xbox talking about EA Access and the Vault and Xbox Live Gold members and all that. How is that program going? Because when you guys first announced it, I think people were interested in it. They weren't sure quite how it was going to work, what games were going to be in the library. That's pretty successful for EA, right? You're happy with how many people subscribe?
Very, very successful. It gives people the opportunity to sample games that they probably ordinarily wouldn't have purchased. And it's $5 a month. We've now got 12 games in the vault. We're excited, actually, by the opportunity now with backwards compatibility and maybe what that could do for us with 360 games. The ability for us to be able to bring a broader audience into the EA portfolio is huge. And you not only get the vault, you get the 10% discount on content. And, of course, you get the early access, 5 days early access we talked about. Madden being available on August the 25th, but on EA Access, members get to play it on August the 20th.
Let me ask you about backwards compatibility, because you and I have talked for many years about that. You remember back when PlayStation 3 was backwards compatible, Xbox 3 wasn't, and a lot of people, yourself included, I think Microsoft said, well, it doesn't really matter that much. People play the new games. Has that changed now, you think? Now that, on Steam you have all your library of games and things
I think
like that,
more and more people are accumulating games. They're more reticent to I think, trade in games at times. They like to keep a collection. As I think Phil and the team said this morning, it's we're not going to charge you twice again to play the games you already own. For us, the ability to, and you see it with Steam, you see it with Origin, people love to, even if they don't play them as much as they think they do.
To know you have them.
To know you have them. We love, as gamers, we love to collect.
Just like all your suits in your closet.
That's exactly right. But from the perspective of what gamers love to do, they love to collect sample games, and if the price is right, and we do a lot of promotions in our industry now, to be able to broaden the reach, if you will, of acquiring more gamers and giving them more access to games.
Now, I wanted to ask you about EA as a company. You guys are doing phenomenally well right now. But you guys are very strong in mobile. You're also looking at the HD console market, Xbox, PlayStation. EA, in many ways, made a bigger bet, I think, on Xbox One initially than PlayStation. Now, it seems like you guys are working with Sony to some degree on Battlefront. You've got the EA Access program. What's EA's view of kind of the HD console market? I mean, E3 is ultimately about, it feels like, the big three console platforms. Is that where the industry is right now, or is there another whole aspect of gaming that we're not covering here at E3?
Well, we take great pride in being a multi-platform company, a global multi-platform company. That to your point, HD consoles, PC free-to-play, mobile itself. We look at our portfolio as franchises. FIFA is available, I think, on 13 different platforms by the time you're done. And it's wherever gamers want to play, an experience that is how much time they have, how much money they have to spend on whatever platform or device that they're playing on. And I think that's the idea. And I think in the old days, we've gone away from boys in their bedrooms, as I used to call it, which is that was your bespoke gaming machine. Now we all have games machines around us 24 hours a day. And we at EA like to be there for everybody, particularly with our big franchises like FIFA, like a Battlefield, like a Need for Speed, which I also thought showed very well today. Yeah,
Need for Speed coming out later this year, which is a big title for EA. Great to bring that back, reboot it. And then also open the press conference with the big announcement of the next Mass Effect.
Yes, sir. It was when I first saw that video, I thought, boy, this is going to it is a great way to open. And it is obviously still a ways away, but from the perspective of giving back to the fans, particularly that loyal BioWare fans, and this video that's showing here, this is how we open the show.
And this is in-engine footage from Frostbite?
This is all Frostbite, absolutely.
Wow.
And team at BioWare, as always, do a magnificent job. And it's turning into one of our most beloved franchises. Truly is.
The fans truly love it. That'll be holiday of 2016?
Yes, that's where we're at. We'll see. It'll be ready when it's ready.
Okay, well, yeah, all right, well, we'll see. But I wanted to ask you about, the shooter genre. For many years, EA was very head-to-head with, Call of Duty, Activision. EA was shipping out, Battlefields. This year you've got a Battlefront. You had Battlefield Hardline earlier this year.
Plants
vs. Zombies, yes, absolutely. That'll be coming. But so what's your view now on, are you guys going to continue to do, you think, a Battlefield every year, or what is the cadence of which EA is going to bring out games?
Well, for years, we had Battlefield. We, of course, had Medal of Honor for a while as well, and that's on
Dust that one off, come on.
That's on furlough right now.
Yes.
I think the idea is to bring, the FPS category is such a powerful part of our industry. It really drives a lot of attention, obviously, not only ourselves, but our friends and competitors at Activision with Call of Duty, to your point. I think having Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare is an interesting take.
Fresh and different,
It is. It's got a great sense of humor. It's a lot of fun to play, but it's a shooter. Where, we're clearly haven't talked about next year yet, calendar 2016. But the Battlefield franchise is one of the biggest franchises in video games. And the team at DICE continues to focus on that. Interestingly, Battlefield 4, the engagement levels are through the roof.
Well, I was going to ask you about that because the idea of, I'm going to buy a $60 box product in November every year, it seems like the industry's starting to change in a big way about, games as a service. And you've seen that with premium, right? I mean, people continue to play that, continue to get new content.
Absolutely, and we're looking at engagement levels. To be blunt and to be very candid, we had a rocky start with Battlefield 4. But as the game now is rock solid, the team at DICE continues to add content through premium. More and more, we're seeing our engagement levels rise. In fact, it was one of the interesting conundrums when we were about to launch Hardline. We were all saying, boy, we've never seen such great numbers on Battlefield 4. It'll be tough to move that consumer over. The good news is they have done. And in a lot of instances, they're playing both games at the same time.
Right. Now, talk to us a bit about the sports category, because that's something close to your heart. Obviously, FIFA, Madden. There's been a lot of rumors the past couple of months about what's happening with the NFL, rumors that Montana might be going off and doing a game or something like that. I don't know if you know anything about that or what's real or what you can say.
Only what you read and I read on Twitter. Joe Montana Football 16, I know nothing. That's about it.
I saw, but he's got a developer or something making it. But EA has the exclusivity on an NFL game?
We do.
On all platforms? Or?
On the NFL game and our NFL agreement and our NFLPA agreement, equally as important with the players. Yes, we do.
Right, okay, so if he's doing something, it's got to be unlicensed, I guess.
It will be unlicensed, and I think that I don't know what's going on there. Again, I read what you read either on Twitter or through the news, and if there is a game being developed.
Yes, I heard someone on Twitter said it's going to be here at E3, and it's this mystery that no one knows quite what's going on.
I have no idea. What you did
it's not from Peterborough Productions.
It is not. What you did see today was a spectacular Madden.
Yeah.
a spectacular Madden. I thought the team did a great job and continued to deliver. So we just focus on our own knitting, quite frankly, and get on with it.
Well, you guys have done a great job, and the company sort of has never been stronger. And congratulations to you, because for many years there was worst company in America, and now it feels like people are feeling better about EA, and a lot of great products that are coming out across the board.
And we should talk about Unraveled. I don't know if you had a chance to
Unraveled is incredible, and then we were talking in the panel afterwards. That's the kind of game that I'd love to see from EA. We had even when we were kind enough to come to the Game Awards and introduce Hazelight, which is another small studio.
Right. Yeah.
Joseph Ferraz, who I don't think is here, but he's just starting work on that. And it's great to see those small little games can be nurtured inside of a big company.
A lot of this can be rooted to Patrick Soderlund, who Scandinavia as a whole, but certainly Sweden. There's so many of these small studios that do just brilliant work. Must be their long winters. I don't know. They get down there. But Martin, who you saw on stage, so authentic.
So much heart.
Jeff, every time I see him, and I've seen him present that 3-4 times now.
Gets to you, right?
It does. Yeah. And it's such a genuine story, such a talented guy. He tells the story of being on vacation with his family. And Yarny, who was trending #1 on Twitter there for a little while, one of our favorite characters. But sometimes we as a publisher, I think we have an obligation to go look for games like this, give them a platform, a publishing platform, which my team has to do. Yeah. Patrick got such a great eye for talent, and this was a game, and he sees so many games. This is a game that really caught his eye. Yeah. And I've seen Patrick play this. He calls it a puzzler platform, and it's one of those things where you're going to have to try 50 different ways to get across that ravine or whatever. But
it's just so visually, it's still stunning, and the way it uses physics and whatnot. It has that charm of Cameo.
There's Cameo. It's and to be fair as well, a little bit of Little Big Planet in there.
Absolutely.
It's a little bit of a builder and a creator, and you can see here. I mean, you got to figure this stuff out. But EA takes great delight in being able to put our machine and our engine behind this and bringing it to life for Martin. And you should interview him. I don't know if you've met him yet. Interview him.
Yeah, I got to see him at with Preview 3. We got to see this game a few weeks ago. It's incredible. Well, it's a great, diverse portfolio across the board from EA. You go from the big blockbusters to sports to something small like that. So,
absolutely. We're very proud
things
of
are good at EA, Peter Moore.
We're doing all right, Jeff Keighley. We're doing just fine.
Well, thank you as always, Peter, for stopping by. Great to have you live on YouTube.
Yep, always a pleasure.
Yes, we'll see you on the Twitter.
And I'm glad. And thank you for the 450,000 people watching Battlefront concurrently.
Concurrently, I know. That's a big number.
Not too shabby.
So, yes, it's
kind of television numbers, Jeff Keighley.
I know. That's why we're on the YouTubes now. That's where it's at. All right, well, thank you very much, Peter.
Thank you.
Jackie, speaking of